We have had an exceptionally high murder rate in the city of Bessemer, and we are calling all churches together, various denominations, so that we can try to address this issue.
Reginald Colvert organized the Seek the Peace rally in DeBartolome Park after seeing gun violence in his community.
It really makes me sad, and it really concerns me when human life doesn't really have a value on it.
Colvert.
I know some of y'all are waiting for the part where he talks about white people and white supremacists and Capitol rioters, but he's not. That's not who's doing the killing. In Bessemer, Alabama. But my point in this video is to show how, while this man and so many others that I'm going to show you, in the last few days, this was 2 days ago. Now, this man in Bessemer and many other black men and women all across the country are trying to do anything they can to stop this bloodshed. I mean, it's literally insane what's going on in the black community. I live in Chocolate City. Even though it's no longer Chocolate City, it's still got a very large black population, D.C. And man, it's like the 90s again. The carjackings, the shootings. But here in Bessemer, among just like every other place where black people live, same thing's going on. Meanwhile, you have black women online being bamboozled by Colin Kaepernick. Now, I know all of y'all seen what's going on this week, and I did a video on it. Colin Kaepernick used the image of a black woman, yada, 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 on his book, Abolishing Police. But now, listen, the black women are now on some, don't use our image. I'm cool with you right there. Because we don't want to abolish the police. We just want to defund the police. You want to defund the police? Black women should be lobbying for the police budget to be doubled.
Colvert says the only way to change that, getting outside of the church.
Homes. Charity begins at home.
And into the streets. Something Birmingham police are on board with. Officers are partnering with Phi Beta Sigma fraternity to keep guns off the street.
Here in the recent weeks and months, we've seen the devastation that gun violence has caused here in Birmingham, and we are wanting to try and do our part to try and continue to protect and preserve the city of Birmingham and our family and friends that live, work, and play in Birmingham.
Faith and community leaders say it would take more than words to bring peace into the communities. They ask that folks in the community get out into the streets and have an open dialogue and work together towards finding solutions.
We need more people to care. It's one thing to just complain, one thing to point fingers, but when we take responsibility and personal accountability for our neighborhoods, for our communities, then that is what makes the difference.
Gun buyback organizers say they collected 38 guns in exchange for Walmart gift cards. And organizers of both events say they plan for future events. In Bessemer, Xavier Harris, WVTM 13.
And I'm tired of you niggas with this whole don't talk about black on black crime. That's a Republican talking point. Black on black crime is a white supremacist talking point. White people kill who they around and black people kill who they around. You kill who you're around. Okay, it's white people in Birmingham. Let's count all the white people, because there's a lot of white people in Birmingham. Let's count all the white people who killed the people that they around. Since black on black crime and white on white crime is the exact same thing. Damn, so far every single person been killed in this town been black. Okay, here go a white lady. Holly Elizabeth. Beard, Montana. She was killed in the home by her husband. Murder-suicide. Okay. Murder-suicide. Rest of these niggas was killed in the streets. These niggas wasn't killed in no murder suicide. These niggas killed in the street. Let's see Letitia Dana. Woman found shot lying in the road. The one white woman that was killed in this old town was killed by her husband in the house. If I just pick a random sister off of this Birmingham list, a random one, I guarantee you she was killed in the streets. Going about her business, doing what she was doing, picking up her kids, whatever she was doing, and got smoked. Little boy. God damn. Let's see Destiny. She wanted the good life. Family and friends stunned by nursing students' murder outside of a UAB building. Shot to death in a vehicle outside of the Hill Student Center. There was no marching and protesting for her because you know who killed her. A Negro. There go a Mexican. All right, here go a white guy. So we got two white people obviously the woman's husband, but he died of the suicide, so he wasn't murdered. He murdered himself. That's why the husband who killed the wife earlier in the first white woman I showed you, he's not going to be on this list because he killed himself. But he killed her, so she's on the list. You get it? This is not suicides. These are homicides. So this is the second white guy. Jonathan D. Jackson. Okay. He was killed. Jonathan D. Jackson. All right. Everybody else on here black. Woman found dead inside bedroom. White woman. Killed in the house. Domestic. Happens to every woman. All women got to deal with domestic shit. Let's see the next. I'm just going to pick a random black woman. I guarantee you she was killed outside of the house. In the streets, just running errands or some shit. Raven Lynette Swain. Woman found shot in her car in Underwood Park. Says she had a heart of gold. Raven Lynette Swain. Okay? So two things, man. 99% of the people getting murdered in this city, Birmingham, are black. The white women getting murdered in the house by their boyfriends on some domestic type stuff that everybody has to deal with. The sisters is getting shot running errands. Picking their kids up from school. Just driving down the street. It ain't talking about defund the police. Because don't abolish them, just take more money from them so they can't do their job. You sisters are nuts.
So imagine living in a place where shootings happen almost every single day.
That's the reality in Durham, where police respond to an average of 2 calls a day.
Did you just hear what they said? And they're women in this environment, women who are the sole parents of their children. They don't have fathers to help them raise the children. Their children live in these neighborhoods. And they're like, well, we don't want to abolish the police because we mad at Colin. But take a bunch of money from them so they can't do their job. Because the only place to get services for other stuff is taking the money from the police. You can't take money from Parks and Recreation. You can't take money from Waste Management. You can't take money from sewage. You must take it from the police. Women in these communities we mad at Colin, don't abolish him, just take a bunch of money from him. Because that's the only place we can get money for these programs. We can't get it nowhere else.
That's the reality in Durham, where police respond to an average of 2 calls a day.
Yeah, that's tough for those folks out there. Last year, police actually responded to 966 calls of shots fired, and out of those calls, bullets hit 318 people.
Now, that's an unwanted record for the people of Durham. New at 11, CBS 17's Crystal Price is getting answers about how the violence is costing people who never even hear the gunfire.
South Roxborough Street.
Every day in Durham,
Engine 4.
gunfire goes off somewhere. Last year, a record number of people got shot. 26-year-old Otha Ray Watson was shot by people he knew at a car meet last September.
I was in the bed. My brother-in-law called and he says, Otha's been shot. I'm saying, okay, maybe he got shot in the arm and, the leg or something. He's going to be fine. And when she told me he was shot in the head, I lost it. I didn't believe it. And I'm seeing my baby lay there. I wanted to switch places with him. And if I could have, I would have. I wanted to lay there and have him get up. But I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Well, sister, there's a group of women online. No, they don't want to abolish the police or get rid of the prisons. They want to take a whole bunch of money from your local police department so they can do, I don't know, have some program for mentally ill people, because that's really who's doing this, right? It ain't just random Negroes. It's mentally ill people. Because they can't get the money anywhere else but from the police. So they got to take money away from the police and cut funding and cut resources and cut units. Because that's the cool thing to do now, defund the police. Not abolish them, though. We don't want to get rid of them. We just want to have them hamstrung so they really can't do their jobs. And more of our children get killed.
And if I could have, I would have. I wanted to lay there and have him get up. But I knew that wasn't going to happen.
I'm sure you just felt so helpless.
I did. All I could do was pray, and I told him, I said, it's okay. I said, Mom, you're going to be fine. It's hard.
8 months after losing her son,
This is also my favorite shot.
the pain is still very fresh, and the bills are piling up for Rhonda Watson.
I have to come out of my pocket to pay for therapy.
She spends hundreds of dollars a month on counseling for herself and is worried about the bills she could still receive from the hospital after her son's death.
Just the thought of what it would cost for them to make my baby comfortable in those last minutes.
Duke Health has treated 290 gunshot wound victims since July. That's a 16% increase compared to last year's total of 250. Bills range anywhere from $5,000 to $75,000. Most of the patients not insured or on Medicaid.
Hit that like button, hit that cash app. You won't get this anywhere else. Them niggas talking about defunding the police. When if your little baby gets shot, your little buka, or your little boo-boo, or your little man gets shot, you gotta pay money to the hospital. And you gotta bury them. It's expensive. And the only people that get GoFundMe is the ones that get shot by the police. Which is probably like one of these people. One of these people. I haven't heard of no Black Lives Matter in damn, in what's this, Greensboro, North Carolina? I haven't heard no Black Lives Matter in Durham. Did I miss something? Get in the comment section if Black Lives Matter was in Durham last year. So all these niggas got shot by other niggas. So these people is paying money. This is terrible, man. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this. The cost it takes on these black families. These single mothers got to pay all this damn money after they lose their loved one. Instead, you got a bunch of women talking, we mad at Colin, so don't abolish the police, just defund them. Take money from them so they can be less patrol cars and less gang units.
Duke Health has treated 290 gunshot wound victims since July. That's a 16% increase compared to last year's total of 250. Bills range anywhere from $5,000 to $75,000. Most of the patients not insured or on Medicaid.
When you're talking about violent crime in particular, you're talking about an enormous cost to taxpayers.
Leonard Sipes has researched crime for decades. As a former law enforcement officer and government spokesman, Sipes says not only is crime costing the families of victims, but it's costing everyone who lives in the city. When you factor in everything from the costs of police response to hospital stays to court fees and the incarceration.
Don't worry about the police response or the incarceration. If Colin get his way, because you won't have to pay no money for the police response if Colin get his way. Or if the sisters get their way. If the sisters get their way, at least we'll still have prisons. But we have less police. So the police response going to be slower. So I think I'm with you, sisters. Don't abolish the police. Just take as much money as you can from them so they can barely do their job. Because you see things, we at a time where we can afford. This is the perfect time to take money away from the police department.
When you factor in everything from the costs of police response to hospital stays to court fees and the incarceration for the suspects, a recent study by Money Geek found crime costs the average taxpayer in Durham more than $2,000 a year. The study also looked at neighboring cities with lower crime rates. In Raleigh, crime is costing taxpayers $531. That's about a fifth of what people in Durham are paying.
Okay, so in Durham, a lot of Negroes in Durham. Whole lot of Negroes in Durham. You pay $2,400 a year for these niggas to run around and shoot each other and have shootouts in broad day and kill little babies and shoot little toddlers and shit and shoot first graders and kill women sitting in their cars. So that only cost us $2,400 a year. But in neighboring Raleigh, where there's less niggas, much less niggas in neighboring Raleigh, not as much crime, because niggas ain't there. The taxpayers only pay $531 a year. So you niggas can run around and have shootouts in broad daylight and shoot up clubs and kill innocent people and shoot up parks during festivals and kill kids and shit. Me personally, I'd rather only pay $531 for you niggas to go tear up shit and shoot up everybody, rather than paying $2,400 for that shit. And these sisters don't abolish the police. Colin used our image without our permission. But take as much money as you can for them for programs, because there's nowhere else in the world we can find money for programs except for taking it from the police.
A recent study by Money Geek found crime costs the average taxpayer in Durham more than $2,000 a year. The study also looked at neighboring cities with lower crime rates. In Raleigh, crime is costing taxpayers $531. That's about a fifth of what people in Durham are paying. Cary has one of the lowest crime rates in the state. Crime not even costing taxpayers there $200 a year.
What you think the carry look like, where it's only where they only pay $185 a year for these niggas to run around and shoot up playgrounds and kill little kids. How much what you think the demographic breakdown, the racial breakdown of Cary, North Carolina is? Okay. So Cary is 63% white, 17% Asian. That's a lot of Asians. Damn. You rarely find a city with that many Asians. Basically 18% Asian. Wow. 8% black. So the blacks only 8% of the population in Cary. And they got the least amount of crime. And they pay the least amount of tax dollars so these niggas can run around and shoot up shit all day and hit little kids.
When you factor in everything from the cost of police response to hospital stays to court fees and the incarceration for the suspects, a recent study by Money Geek found crime costs the average taxpayer in Durham more than $2,000 a year. The study also looked at neighboring cities with lower crime rates. In Raleigh, crime is costing taxpayers $531. That's about a fifth of what people in Durham are paying. Cary has one of the lowest crime rates in the state. Crime not even costing taxpayers there $200 a year.
But researchers say it's not just those raw numbers that are concerning. It's the long-term impact this could have if people and businesses start leaving the city due to the rising number of shootings. In Durham, Crystal Price, CBS 17 News.
The number of gunshot victims that are rushed here to VCU Medical Center has increased dramatically, up more than 50% last year compared to 2019, and our city leaders say something needs to change.
Something we can't afford not to solve.
On the steps of City Hall Thursday, Richmond's leaders announced the next step to combat gun violence.
Gun violence is a public health crisis. And to address this crisis, it will require a mobilization of people, programming, and investment.
They plan to introduce a resolution at City Council on May 24th, not only declaring gun violence a city crisis, but promising to enact programs and seek state and federal dollars to respond to the emergency.
We can and we must do something about gun violence in our city.
Now you see, just like Birmingham, the leadership black. Durham, the leadership is black. Richmond, black city council president, black mayor. I went to college at VCU. I lived in Richmond for years. Been all through Richmond. The north side, south side, east end, west end, the Fan, Henrico County. Completely run by black folk. Now they asking for the black folk and the good old white folk down there to spend more money so that, listen to them, they want your money in tax dollars so that these niggas can go shoot up, to pay more money to shoot up. Meanwhile, it's sisters online talking about take more money away from the police. Just don't get rid of them. Don't get rid of them. Just make it the way they basically ain't no point in having them. Because all they going to be doing is picking up shell casings and roping off crime scenes once sisters get done with them.
They plan to introduce a resolution at City Council on May 24th, not only declaring gun violence a city crisis, but promising to enact programs and seek state and federal dollars to respond to the emergency.
We can and we must do something about gun violence in our city.
Mayor LaFar Stoney admits this violence spans generations, disproportionately impacting Black and underserved communities.
There will be some programs that we'll be rolling out in the coming weeks that will focus on those ages, whether they're teens, young adults, and others.
Last year has been devastating for us.
Dr. Michelle Abutano serves as the medical director at the VCU Level 1 Trauma Center, treating the most severely injured.
But if you got shot or got injured and you come to VCU, within 15 minutes you have that entire team assembled. We drop everything and must respond in 15 minutes.
He calls his team the best of the best, saving countless lives.
The minute we get that page, a gunshot wound, I walk down to the trauma bay. I'm expecting an entire team there. Everybody must know their role, must know what to do, and only then can we be effective.
Now,
imagine how many more Negroes would die every year if this wasn't the case in every city, where they got the best surgeons, and VCU's the one, is probably the best hospital in all of the state of Virginia. Medical College of Virginia. That's what they call it. When I was there, it was the best college in Virginia. I mean, it was the best hospital in Virginia. Best medical school in Virginia. And the best hospital in Virginia. No, I wasn't a med student. But yeah. Think about every city, every little town. This is the case. This is the case everywhere. It's the case in D.C. Top flight surgeons. Soon as they get the call that a nigga been shot, a rando, pants sagging, online flashing guns, tattoos all on his neck and his face, ignorant ass will cuss you out and look at you funny and might shoot you over something stupid. Soon as one of them niggas get wheeled in the operating room, all the best surgeons rush there to save their life. Imagine how racist this country is. And this happens in every city all night long. All day long in every city. This is Richmond. This is just Richmond, Virginia. This is every city. The best doctors in the world. Now, I bet you sisters won't defund. You won't defund the hospital. I bet you won't. We need to take resources from the hospital so we can have programs. That ain't gonna work worth a fuck. Bunch of programs that ain't gonna work worth shit. Stupid ass programs and shit. Midnight basketball and rec centers, they ain't gonna worth a fuck. I bet you won't defund these hospitals.
Dr. Michelle Abutano serves as the medical director at the VCU Level 1 Trauma Center, treating the most severely injured.
But if you got shot or got injured and you come to VCU, within 15 minutes you have that entire team assembled. We drop everything and must respond in 15 minutes.
He calls his team the best of the best, saving countless lives.
The minute we get that page, a gunshot wound, I walk down to the trauma bay. I'm expecting an entire team there. Everybody must know their role, must know what to do, and only then can we be effective.
Now, VCU Health joins this citywide effort to not only treat the victims, but aim to prevent it from happening in the first place. VCU also leads an injury and violence prevention program. They assign caseworkers and other support systems to the victims for after they recover and leave the hospital. Working for you in Richmond, I'm Brendan King, CB.
3 shootings in just 3 minutes, making it another violent day in Baltimore. In just the last 24 hours here, at least 9 people have been shot. 1 of them died. All of this happening as the mayor and the police commissioner joined a crime walk. WJZ is live tonight at 11. Kelsey Kushner with their plan to bring down the violence in the city.
3 shootings in 3 minutes. God, dog. Yeah. all I've done is gone up the south, the Atlantic coast, like Birmingham to Durham, and I skipped 1,000 cities in between where the same thing's going on. But I just want to show you, I'm not like doing like New York, LA, Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Birmingham, Durham, Richmond, Baltimore. I skipped DC just because I've done videos on DC, so I skipped DC. I don't know what y'all. I get it. It's cool. Let's defund. It sound. It ain't catchy to me, but obviously y'all see it as being catchy. Defund the police, man. Like double the police budget. And if you don't want to get shot or beat up by a cop, man, this we got to start this new thing, black community. If you don't want to get shot, beat up by a cop, man, don't be out here doing this stuff, man. Motherfuckers out here thugging, 90 going north, and we got to march when they get shot by the police. We acting like we don't understand. We got to stop this shit, black folk. Niggas act bewildered, like, I don't know how he got shot. I can't explain it. It makes no sense how the police shot him.
3 shootings in just 3 minutes, making it another violent day in Baltimore. In just the last 24 hours here, at least 9 people have been shot. 1 of them died. All of this happening as the mayor and the police commissioner joined a crime walk. WJZ is live tonight at 11. Kelsey Kushner with their plan to bring down the violence in the city. Kelsey.
Nicole, that crime walk ended around 6 o'clock, and within the hour, there were 3 shootings in just 3 minutes. 2 people were injured. One 26-year-old man has died, and tonight, city leaders are calling for change.
We are just broken and shattered in every kind of way from this.
Sarah Marshall says her cousin, 31-year-old Ephraim Gordon, took his first flight to America for a family wedding.
He was the kindest soul I've ever met in my life.
1 week later, she says he's now leaving to go back home in a coffin.
We don't have any answers. We don't know, what was the motive or what really happened that night. But what we do know is we want justice.
Gordon was gunned down last week as he stood on his aunt and uncle's doorstep in Northwest Baltimore. Tuesday, the Baltimore City Police Commissioner, Mayor Brandon Scott, and city council members met with Gordon's family for a crime walk, promising change.
Now, this Jewish guy, you know who did, and you know who killed this Jewish guy. Like, stop playing. You know who killed him. Now, he was killed. Now, look at this. This probably the only Jewish guy that got killed in Baltimore in like 5 years. And they not having this. They not having this. The patrol's gonna be upped in this neighborhood. Huge mega police presence in this neighborhood now. Mega police presence in this neighborhood. Investigation, find out who did this, put them in prison before Colin gets rid of them. Have the cops beat every bush and look under every rock until they solve this, until the sisters defund them. And they not playing about this.
We are just broken and shattered in every kind of way from this.
Sarah Marshall says her cousin, 31-year-old Ephraim Gordon, took his first flight to America for a family wedding.
He was the kindest soul I've ever met in my life.
1 week later, she says he's now leaving to go back home in a coffin.
We don't have any answers. We don't know, what was the motive or what really happened that night, but what we do know is we want justice.
Gordon was gunned down last week as he stood on his aunt and uncle's doorstep in Northwest Baltimore. Tuesday, the Baltimore City Police Commissioner, Mayor Brandon Scott, and city council members met with Gordon's family for a crime walk, promising change.
The police department has been very thorough in having detectives come and combing through every piece of evidence, and so that's what's key to solving crime.
Tuesday marked another violent day in the city. Police say gunfire erupted near Poe Homes in West Baltimore. 3 women and 1 man were shot. They're all expected to be okay. Between 6:42 and 6:44, there were 3 shootings. On Bradish Avenue, a 26-year-old man was hit. On Mosher Street, a 30-year-old man, and on North Curly Street, police say another 26-year-old man was shot and killed. The mayor didn't speak on camera, but calls the crime unacceptable. He said,
"Look at your mayor. Every city you go to, the leadership is black. City council, the mayor." This Elijah Cummings, he was the congressman here before he passed away. This is his district. 40 years, nothing but Negroes running this place.
The mayor didn't speak on camera, but calls the crime unacceptable. He says he plans to work with the community to help bring justice to families like Ephraim Gordon.
It would bring closure if we were able to know whoever committed this crime will be off the streets.
Something echoed by council member Yitzi Schleifer.
When a community comes together and works with the city, works with the police department, that synergy is what we need to help drive down crime in Baltimore.
He don't give 2 shits about driving down crime in Baltimore. I can tell you that much. He only cares about driving down crime in this Jewish neighborhood in Baltimore. That's it. And the crime was very low until this happened. So basically, by driving down crime, they want to make sure that this be the only murder in the next, 5-6 years in that neighborhood. Just like this one, just like it wasn't a murder in that neighborhood for the previous 5 or 6 years. Even though this city has 320, 350 murders a year. So much of he want to drive down the crime about. No, he does not care about that. He only cares about his neighborhood. He ain't about to defund the police. And he definitely ain't about to let you niggas out of jail that's committing crimes.
When a community comes together and works with the city, works with the police department, that synergy is what we need to help drive down crime in Baltimore.
So far, 112 people have been shot and killed in Baltimore City. That's up from 103 this time last year. Reporting live tonight, Kelsey Kushner for WJC.
Let's see. The last time a non-black person was killed in Baltimore. So you got Ephraim Gordon. You see him right there. He was killed the other day. Okay, is this a white man? No, that's a light-skinned brother. Okay, here go a white guy, Italian guy. Justin Bucalo, 40. 25-year-old Jaquan Owens is charged in the February murder. So Justin Bucalo got killed by Jaquan Owens. Okay, so there go Jaquan right there. Jaquan. Yeah, Justin. I don't know what the hell you was doing messing around with Jaquan, but okay, so we got Ken Gersley, man. Ken Gersley, 58. They say his killing wasn't related to other ATM robberies. Who y'all think killed Kent Gersley, man? Get in the comment section, man. Tell me who y'all think killed Kent Gersley. So now we got to change it. Let's find a white person in Baltimore that was killed by another white person. Because all these white people we see is being killed by brothers. Okay, Anthony Tony Compton. Compton Sr. He was killed in a double shooting in West Baltimore. So we don't know who killed him. So we'll just say that, yeah, in West Baltimore, a white man killed him. Wow. Chad Michael Johnson. He came to Baltimore from rural Pennsylvania to buy drugs. Now he's dead, and a 13-year-old boy is charged in his murder. Wow. He came to Baltimore from rural Pennsylvania to buy drugs. Now he's dead, and a 13-year-old boy is charged with his murder. Y'all white folk need to stay down about a B-boy, man. Chad Michael Jordan, 40, of Jefferson, Pennsylvania, was shot and killed Friday after buying drugs near Carroll Park. Oh, Carroll Park. If he was robbed by a 13-year-old in Carroll Park, it's a 1,059 billion% chance that 13-year-old was black. There's no chance that kid wasn't black in Carroll Park. So he tried to rob him. So he came down there to buy drugs. What do y'all think about that? White boy came down there to buy some drugs. Got robbed by a 13-year-old and killed. So, wow. All these brothers whacked up. Well, at least sisters don't want to get rid of the police. They just want to take as much money as possible for them for some stupid ass programs that ain't going to amount to shit. Midnight basketball. But at least we got that. At least we still have the police to come, pick up the shell casings. Get in the comment section, man. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.